Hello and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. In the last episode, we decided to take up Amane's route, having the choice of kissing her or running away from a potential kiss. Yuuji forcibly stole a kiss from the unprepared Amane, taking her by surprise, and eventually, after some teasing from JB's part, they got hooked up, though with the condition that Yuuji couldn't exactly be a boyfriend when he didn't know exactly what love was, and Amane, surprisingly to Yuuji, accepted this turn. Let's continue. When it comes to women, the ideal is small, soft, cute and smart enough to pretend they're stupid. But by some cruel twist of fate, the women in my life have universally been on the large, brash and hard-headed side of things. Less cute, more brute. At one point, back when I was really and truly surrounded by these creatures, I was half convinced my entire life had been cursed by some misdeed against an oversized woman in the previous incarnation. More than anything else, big women are just hard to deal with. They're gluttonous, coarse, obstinate and selfish. They pick fights and smoke cigarettes. On top of it all, they're crybabies, jealous, wear too much makeup and blame the nearest man for anything and everything. Given all these charming characteristics, you could hardly blame a guy for wanting to pull an abrupt about face whenever a big woman comes into view. Of late, however, my doctrine on oversized females have experienced something of a softening. I'm beginning to think they aren't all bad, in their own way. I've met one in particular who's an excellent cook, highly attentive to the needs of others, and doesn't get angry when I speak to other women, and accepts every request I make eagerly. Honestly, she's too convenient. The whole thing gives me an unpleasant feeling in the pit of my stomach at times. But then again, that's just the sort of person I am. The sweeter the deal, the more uneasy I become. As a result, recently I've been racking my brains over one question in particular. Why did a high-quality woman like that become the girlfriend of a worthless man like me? Good morning, Yuuji. Moblin Mobi-chan. Moblin? Sounds like an aberration for mobile Orlicon. Did someone develop a portable 20mm autocannon deployable by infantry? Magina, you're sneaking food again. I told you breakfast was on hold until Yuuji got back, didn't I? What's the big deal? No matter how more snarf and rather food will always better make more. That's me. And ain't magic, you little brat. I swear to God, you ain't got no manners. Are you raising a barn? This is the only way of life I know. Deal with it. Cut the back talk. Not that I really mind, but why are you people in my room first thing in the morning? Oh, well, I'm your girlfriend now after all. Thought I should at least make breakfast, you know? That's not really. It's no trouble at all if that's what you're worried about. I'm always making Magnus breakfast, so doing yours just means cooking a little bit extra. I see. Come on then, you worked up a sweat on that run, right? Go ahead and take your shower. Breakfast should be just about ready when you're done. Yep, alright. What the heck? Why the creepy laugh? What do you think? Perhaps it's related to a certain someone jumping headfirst into the whole girlfriend song and dance? It's embarrassing just to watch her. Come on, I've done this kind of stuff plenty of times before, right? There's nothing weird about it. And what with the distinct hint of desperation? Whenever Oni-chan tried to say something, they cut him off instantly. Well, yeah, but I mean, it's Yuuji we're talking about here, you know? I'm doing this stuff because I want to, but it feels like he'll go, don't trouble yourself if I give him the chance. Well, can't argue with you on that one. Oni-chan's weirdly abstemious. Kinda feels like he isn't used to getting pampered. I know, right? So, well, I managed to become his girlfriend and all, you know? I want to do stuff for him, but it would be seriously rough to get shut down with a no thank you. Well, I don't think you gotta worry about too much on that count. Oni-chan may live like a Puritan, but he also is stupidly good at dealing with women for some reason. So, once he realizes you're one of them heavy women who can only demonstrate affection by forcibly smothering people with it, I'm sure he'll skillfully meet your needs. Oh, what's the matter? Hey. Yeah? I heavy? We're discussing your body mass index? Of course not. Well, kinda. I mean, I'm a helpless kid who can't live without leeching off of you, Amane, but Onichan's probably more on the independent side of things, you don't think? If you overdo it, he might end up finding this relationship more annoying than anything else. I see. I've got to watch out. Well, no need to get all down in the dumps. Let me give you some tips I read in the magazines the other day. Don't try and meet up every single free moment. Don't flip out over the occasional slow response to your text. When you get mad, don't let it simmer. Talk honestly about the reason you're upset. And this is the #1 most important rule. Don't look at your boyfriend's cell phone without permission. That's quite a range. Wait, where did you get all that from anyway? What are you talking about, Amane? Those are all from a magazine you yourself bought. Handbook of the Assertive Modern Chick, Teen Fashion Magazine, Tiger Girl, August issue, page 144. That's a rather big magazine. Back off, heavy girl. Ever had a boyfriend tell you he wants some space? It was a special feature and all, not ringing any bells? Now that you mention it, I think I might remember seeing an article like that, maybe. Probably thought, no need to bother, it's not like I'm heavy or anything. And skimmed right past it, am I right? A good old cottage girl. But, well, at least you didn't go running after Onichan into the shower screaming, I'll wash your back for you! There may be some hope for you yet. Yeesh, that was close. I was kind of going back and forth on that one. I'm really glad I didn't. Plan to wash his back with your fat old boobies, I expect. Good grief. No, that's a little over the top, even for... Listen up, you. Take your flirting too far and you're just gonna end up looking like a freaky pervert. Got the message? Good. Now get cracking on that breakfast. Okay. Now that that's settled, I've got a minor errand to attend to. See ya! Huh? Hey, minor errand? Where are you going? Whoopsie, there we go. Why are you taking off your clothes? Oni-chan, I'll wash your back for you. Hold it right there. Poor Yuuji. There are some people out there who find joy in serving others, making them happy and being necessary to them. In order, I consider them masochists. There's no guarantee that such devotion will ever be rewarded. In fact, I think it's safe to say the opposite is more often true. Case in point, no matter how many people we might kill in the national interest, no one's going to gratefully reward pieces of trash like us for our service. That's really only natural. Maintaining such fruitless devotion for its own sake doesn't make any sense. There's got to be some other motive underneath it all, or so I instinctively suspect. No matter how much I want to believe Sue Amane's actions are motivated purely by her emotions, this small nauseating sense of unease just won't disappear. But of course, I'm a twisted person with all the capacity for trust of a mangy stray dog. Accepting the kindness of others never comes easy to me. Okay then, I devoted myself diligently to my breakfast. Now it's time to vigorously devour my studies. I think you may have gotten your verbs reversed there. Well, her incomprehensible enthusiasm gets across, if nothing else. Ooh, Oni-chan, you seem kind of worn out. Well, when a certain somebody makes that much of a fuss first thing in the morning, that's hardly surprising. Sorry, Oni-chan, Amane really did make a hell of a fuss. I'm talking about you. What? Don't give me that bewildered look. You're shameless. Speaking of which, if I hadn't stopped you, were you really planning to wash Yuuji's back? You betcha. Nothing like starting your day off with a passionate, sticky, no-holes, bare back washing, in my humble opinion. I'm at a loss. How am I supposed to scold this girl? The concept of remorse is completely foreign to her. Hey, Oni-chan, same about today, but we can always pick up where we left sometime when it's just the two of us. Don't get me involved in this troublesome nonsense. Won't be any trouble at all. I'll bring the condoms. Hey, you're right in front of his girlfriend here, you know? You can't say things like that even as a joke, okay? Not to worry, I'm not about to get excited by the likes of Makina. I see how it is. This is titty discrimination. Oh, that's right. If you want to become my woman, get yourself a serious rack.
Oh, this guy says some pretty crazy stuff sometimes.
This is the only way of life I know. Deal with it.
Nah, hoist it on my own petard.
Give up on becoming my woman, and try to be sportsmanlike about it, will you? In exchange, I'll be your big brother as long as you want.
How about favor?
Well, as long as I manage to stay alive, I guess.
Nice! Okay, I'll take you up on that. That's a promise, okay?
Hold on a second. I feel like I might have rushed into this. Let me think it over.
Ah, it's a heli, an Apache, a longbow, no, an AH-64D.
Hey, Machina.
She ran away on you.
What a hopeless girl. That's clearly a civilian helicopter. How do you mistake an EC-155B for an AH-64D?
More importantly, are you really okay with making that promise?
Well, I suppose. Try not to begrudge Machina the little sister role. I think she's always going to have a hard time functioning unless there's someone looking out for her.
True enough.
Let's hurry to the classroom ourselves.
Ah, Yuuji, hold on. Come on, your tie's crooked.
Really?
Come here, I'll get it for you.
Right, thanks.
You might play the spick and span soldier boy, but you definitely have your sloppy side.
Yep, I get that a lot.
JB once offered me a similar evaluation. You're insufficiently thorough. That sloppiness is why you always manage to bungle things in the endgame. But my master responded, that's the one and only part of this kid you could call cute. She actually encouraged me to make certain types of sloppy mistakes as a way to attract the tender exasperation of females. Not to say that I'm doing any of this on purpose, but in retrospect, it seems like there might be something to that suggestion. Even as she fixes my necktie with a few vaguely maternal complaints, the expression on Amane's face suggests she's enjoying herself. Okay, much better.
Right, thanks.
Hey, Yuuji?
What?
Am I heavy?
In terms of body mass?
Thanks, but I already got that stupid joke from Machina.
My humor on the same level as Machina's. That's a bit of a shock.
Well, she has been resembling you more and more lately, you know.
Children change themselves in reaction to the adults around them. It's only natural.
I know it's easy to forget sometimes, young man, but Machina's practically the same age as you.
I'm aware of that. I'm also aware that you're only 2 years older than me, despite the wise big sister act.
Who told you that?
The principal.
I see.
What? Did you want to keep it a secret?
No, not really, I guess.
Then there's nothing to worry about. I don't care too much about age either way. Also, if I thought you were heavy, I'd tell you straight out. You're fine the way you are. Don't try to change yourself to fit me.
Gotcha.
Alright, then let's head to class. Want to hold hands on the way?
Huh? You serious?
No, just screwing with you.
What? Boo.
Don't boo me. Come on.
I offer my left hand to Amane. Huh? It's okay? Really?
Just until we get to the classroom.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Am I getting soft? The thought did occur to me, but if you think of it as compensation for Amane's reliably daily service, a little charity like this is entirely justifiable. Like a dog leaping toward the leash its master's carrying, Amane jumps to grab my hand, firmly intertwining her fingers with mine. As always, her palm is unusually cold to the touch, but compared to a hot, sweaty hand, this one isn't unpleasant to hold. This is a pretty old story that my master heard from her own master. It's about a man who, having finished a big job overseas, stopped by a certain rural town. The man in question had been celebrating the completion of his task in a bar. Eventually the liquor went to his head and he asked the owner of the place where he could get himself a woman. Sure enough, they brought him a girl. The fees seemed unreasonably high, but the man was plastered and the money he'd earned was burning a hole in his pocket. He rationalized it as a worthy price for a night of sweet dreams. The next morning, when the man woke up in his hotel room, the woman was nowhere to be seen.
Oh crap, did she take me for a ride?
But when he checked the pockets of his jacket in panic, his wallet was still there and nothing seemed to be missing from the inside. Sheesh, getting a little paranoid. Anyway, those sure were some pleasant dreams. But just as the man was putting the incident behind him, the woman he'd slept with returned to the room bearing breakfast on a tray. What? You haven't gone home yet? In response to the man's question, the woman tilted her head in puzzlement. I don't know the location of your home yet, husband. The oddly expensive prize hadn't bought the man a single night of pleasure. It had bought him the woman.
Huh? Wait, what happened?
The man paid his money with the intention of spending a single night with the woman, but he inadvertently purchased her entire life. I've heard the salary of a Japanese university graduate just entering the work phase would make you quite wealthy in certain regions of South Asia, so I suppose such a mistake isn't impossible, but...
What's this story got to do with Amane?
Well, it isn't over yet. The man tried to return the woman to her family, but they refused to take her back. The way they saw things, it was already a done deal. So in the end, the man had no choice but to take the woman back to his own country. He was pretty shell-shocked. Felt like he'd stumbled into a total catastrophe at first, but once they got back to his hometown, his opinion changed dramatically. You see, the woman happened to be one hell of a hard worker. Maybe that's just how they raised him over there, but the fear that he'd decide she was useless and abandoned her probably had a lot to do with it as well. Either way, she waited on this guy hand and foot. They probably trained her pretty strictly from a young age. She took over all the cleaning, washing, cooking, and managed them all perfectly. When the man took a bath, she'd wash his back. When he went to work, she'd help him into his business suit, then send him off by kneeling in the entranceway with her head to the floor. The girl not only accepted all of this as a role, but actually started crying when the man tried to stop her from performing her duties. At first he was something of a loss. But in time, the man decided to accept this dependent new lifestyle. His reasoning was simple enough. Apparently being necessary to him even in the smallest way was important to his wife. It felt pompous, allowing the girl to attend to his every need, but if that would reassure her that her place in the world was secure, he decided it was the right thing to do. Long story short, they stayed married for more than 40 years. At the man's deathbed, the girl was by his side. These were apparently her final words to him. I was terrified and miserable at first. The realization that I'd been bought by some strange foreigner brought me to tears many times. But even so, in the end, I'm glad. From the bottom of my heart, I'm glad you took me back with you.
What the heck? I'm tearing up here!
Understandable. Maybe you see what I'm getting at here, but for me, I think Amane might be something like that girl. So for now, I think I'm going to try letting Amane do what she wants, just like the man in the story. So the entire tale was your attempt at an excuse for entering the classroom hand in hand with Amane-san? Come on, no need to put it so bluntly, is there? Not that you're wrong.
In other words, you decided to follow my example and spend the rest of your life leeching off Amane.
Did you even listen to what I was saying?
Come on, it was a long-ass story and I didn't really get the point, you know. Keep your reports concise.
And now she's talking like JB. Cheeky brat. Maki-chan, men's excuses are by their very nature lengthy and largely incoherent. And you're not much better. Don't kick me in the gut with that knowing smile on your face. Anyway, I still find Amane's kindness pretty odd, but I guess I've decided to stop fighting it. I think that's the best way to repay her goodwill. As long as I can remember to be grateful, that's all I'm trying to say.
Oh, I see.
You still don't get it, do you?
Nope.
I, however, understand entirely. An excellent way of thinking, in my humble opinion. I identified so strongly with your tale that I could barely restrain the urge to tearfully wail my agreement. The supreme bliss of being necessary to another, the sympathetic master who understands the need to be needed. There was an E too many there. Or maybe it was pronunciation. Truly, there is no greater blessing for a maid. The emotional impact of such profound reward for your daily labors must be overwhelming. If one were to receive, say, a gentle pat on the head on top of it all, it might well prove impossible to maintain control of your bladder.
Sort of like them excitable yapping little dogs that piss themselves in joy when the master says time for a walk?
I don't think I like the sound of this.
Not to worry, Amane is a placid, well-trained big dog. You know, won't pee on your carpet, won't bark at the squirrels outside, sits waiting patiently by the door for a master to come home.
Ah, I believe I'm familiar with the type. Something like the Inuo family's Lucky, perhaps?
Lucky? What? Have you ever seen her around Onishan? If you go shopping to Shoei's in the evening, sometimes she's sitting next to the door. Big, brown, kind of dopey dog.
Oh, I think I might know the one you're talking about. The borzoi that's always gnawing on a chewed up plastic back scratcher. Lucky is quite intelligent, you know. When her master is shopping, she flops down quietly outside, droops her ears lazily to the ground and doesn't budge an inch. She never barks, even when other dogs pass by.
Sometimes the neighborhood kids yank on her tail and ears as a prank, but she just gets mildly annoyed look on her face. Never seen her get mad. She's a really gentle dog, you know.
And when she notices her master about to leave the store, she jumps up right away and assumes an alert sitting posture. With her face saying, "I've been waiting at attention the whole time." It's unbelievably cute. I see. Now that you mention it, that does sound a bit like Amane.
Somebody say my name?
Oh, hey there, Amane. We're just noting your resemblance to a dog. I resemble a dog?
Dang straight at you. Give Amane some fruit that's getting close to the expiration day and she'll start sniffing it like a suspicious puppy.
Now that you mention it, that does seem like a habit of hers.
Huh? Seriously? Do I really do that? Yes. Just the other day you stuck your face in an old pot of tofu soup and sniffed away.
But, come on, tofu goes bad pretty fast in the summer. I can't go feeding people sketchy stuff that might upset their stomachs, right? But Amane-san, you do the exact same thing when you're shopping at the fishmonger or greengrocer, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe I've ever seen you buy anything without giving it a sniff first. Huh? Yeah, I mean, you always want to get the freshest possible stuff, right? Can you seriously tell how fresh produce is by sniffing it? Well, I don't know. Just an unconscious habit, I guess. You know, I grew up buying ingredients from my family's restaurant, so I can't help taking my shopping seriously. I see.
Sachi, where are you?
Yes, over here.
Oh, there you are. I'm hungry, Sachi. Let's do lunch.
Certainly, I'll begin preparations at once.
You brought me a box lunch, right? There better not be any green peppers or celery in there.
Yes, of course. None whatsoever. I wouldn't dream of concluding Michiru-sama has no sense of taste anyway, so she won't notice. Then finally chopping up large quantities of the ingredients in question into your lunch.
Hey, that better be the absolute truth, okay?
But of course, you silly goose. Me deceive Michiru-sama? The mere thought is preposterous. You can trust me, I assure you.
Somehow it feels like you've been treating me pretty roughly recently. Is it just my imagination?
It is indeed your imagination, entirely so. You crossed the border into a country of wizards.
What the heck?
A country of wizards? Imagination?
Lame!
Wait a second, Michiru. You've been having Sachi make box lunch for you?
What if I have? You got a problem with that? I mean, it's not like I ordered her to do this. Sachi offered.
Yes, Michiru-sama commented that she was getting sick of the catered lunches every day, and I was presumptuous enough to offer my humble services. What? I could have made a share for you if you just asked, Michiru.
No thanks. Your lunches are way too veggie heavy. I'm a carnivore. I need meat.
Why did you feel the need to say that in English?
I do what I want. You got a problem?
Michiru, I really hope you're showing Sachi appropriate gratitude for this.
I am a humble, down-to-earth woman. I'm always filled with gratitude and thoughtfulness toward others. But I also happen to be a Sundara, so I never let it show on the surface.
I see. Is that just how Sundaras are as a species?
Cause if you overdo it, it's just gonna seem like an annoying jerk. Jiru being an excellent case in point. That's not true. Possibly, probably, maybe not true.
What's with the rapid-fire 3-step transformation from confidence to total uncertainty?
Nice rhythm, though. Wanna make it a catchphrase?
Do me a favor and don't. I'm getting a headache already. Anyway, let's have our lunch.
Good thinking. If I let myself get distracted by these idiots, the break will be over in no time. Come on, Sachi, let's bowl on down to the cafeteria. I feel like washing down my munchies with the seaweed soup today.
Yes, I'll be right along. And so we'll be heading to the cafeteria. What are your plans, everyone? We'll be eating in the classroom. What is it? I'm slightly envious of you, Amane-san. Is it selfish to feel that way, I wonder? Huh? Sorry, what are you talking about?
Well, you know, Qa'Rajh the type who forgets to feed the family dog.
What? Again with the dogs? Well then, please excuse me. What was that all about?
Don't worry about it. More importantly, I've gained a keen understanding of what gratitude means thanks to Michiru's negative example. Amane, thank you for everything you do.
Huh? Yeah, you're welcome, I guess.
Don't really get it, am I right?
Yeah.
You don't need to get it.
Even gratitude can be annoying if you shove it in someone's face. Much like any other form of charity, giving back to others is meaningless if you are motivated primarily by the desire to show off your own nobility. When I see a politician on television proudly wearing brightly colored flags and ribbons on his label, my first and only thought is, look at that swaggering hypocrite. I guess you could say I'm cynical by nature, but I don't want to show my gratitude to Amane that way, not through some self-satisfied display. I want to keep those feelings mostly to myself, the better to preserve them and keep them genuine. If the world calls this less effusive approach the mark of a Sundara, then I guess I'm a Sundara after all. I'll bear that mark of a disgrace with pride. And I'll set an example by my way of life, one that will dispel the foul reputation of a few regrettable individuals have brought upon our misunderstood tribe. Kazami-kun, do you have a moment?
What?
We received a shipment of new books for the library today, but it seems they were accidentally delivered to the dormitory.
Oh, now that you mention it, I did notice a truck over there this afternoon. Must have been the one.
Anyway, I was hoping you might be able to carry the books in question to the library. I apologize for the hassle, but the supplies already left and the physical labor involved would likely be too much for Kumine-san.
Very well, I was looking forward to getting some new material in the library myself. I'll lend a hand.
I see. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just need me to lug them over there?
Yes, once you bring them to the library, I'll take care of putting them on the proper shelves.
Roger, let's get started.
It's pretty rare for Sakaki to ask someone for help like this, and unexpected. Above all else, she's a proud woman, and I'm sure I rank among the very last people she'd ever want to ask for help. So when she swallows that pride and turns to me, I can't very well just shoot her down. On top of which, I honestly do want more books in the library.
That's it, I wasn't expecting quite this many.
A mountain of sizable cardboard boxes are stacked up next to the dorm's front entrance. Assuming around 24 books per box and 16 boxes in all, I've got a good 384 volumes or so to carry over to the schoolhouse.
Might have been a little too hasty in agreeing to that request. Well, nothing I can do about it now. I accepted the job, so I've got to carry it out. In a situation like this, it's better to get moving before you start thinking too much.
If you stand around too long in front of a task like this, it's easy to get paralyzed by your self-pity. This'll never get done unless I finish it. Just have to chip away at the mountain. In short, it's something like mowing and maneuvering the maneuvering grounds. In which case, there's only one conclusion.
A mere 16 round trips? Don't make me laugh.
If you ask the thinking man and women of this world, they'd probably tell you mindless jobs are the most miserable of all. But I'm not one of those people. By nature, I'm well suited to this sort of simple work. Huh? Yuuji? What on earth are you doing out here?
Hey, Sakaki-san asked me to help get some new books over to the library.
Oh, is that it? I was wondering what the deal with the boxes was. Books, huh? Want me to help out?
No, that's alright. You were just setting out on an errand, right?
Yeah, well, I was planning to go shopping for dinner.
Then that's your job at the moment. I'll take care of this.
I see. In that case, I'll make something you like for dinner. What do you feel like having?
Anything's fine.
You do realize that's the most troublesome possible answer, right?
Really? I was trying to imply that anything you make is delicious.
Jeez, flattery is not going to get you anywhere.
Alright then. Something a bit spicy maybe.
Spicy? So, curry or mapo tofu or something?
I'll leave the details to you. Just feel like something with a bit of a kick to it.
Okay, gotcha. Something spicy it shall be.
Margaret is going to eat it too, so keep the intensity reasonable.
Roger, it should be done by 7, so come to my room around then.
Got it.
When asked, what do you feel like having for dinner? A man who answers, anything is fine, is undeniably negligent. But is it just me, or is the woman who demands an answer to that question being a bit unreasonable in her own right? Your average young man doesn't exactly have a sophisticated palate. They can tell the difference between salty, sweet, and spicy, but that's about it. In most cases, they'll find pretty much anything with a strong flavor delicious. Speaking of which, Amane's cooking seems to have been influenced by the restrained style of her mother's homeland. I can't deny that her subtly flavored dishes sometimes feel a bit lacking in impact to me, typical young man that I am. That would be the reason I decided to request something spicy, which necessarily demands heavier seasoning. It might be a somewhat risky request to make of some people, but in Amane's case I'm sure she won't bring out anything absurdly hot. It'll probably be reasonably spicy as a complement to a rich overall flavor. I mean, now that I think about it, I've eaten Amane's cooking many times before, but I don't think she's ever served me anything I just couldn't finish. Probably the fruit of her Ma's vaunted training regimen.
I see. A well-trained big dog, eh? Sounds about right.
Look, what exactly have you been mumbling about for the last few minutes?
My apologies. Did you find it creepy?
Talking to yourself is generally regarded as an unpleasant habit. I suggest you work on that.
Duly noted. On a different note, can you cook, Sakagi?
Where's this coming from all of a sudden?
Well, just my idle curiosity, I guess.
Tell me, are you familiar with the microwave oven?
But of course, the microwave oven is a sacred treasure dropped from the heaven by a benevolent god to save the single males of the world.
Yes, that's right. However, that divine blessing wasn't bestowed on bachelors alone. Just for your information, I happen to be something of a professional at microwaving instant noodles.
We are born in a good era, Sakagi.
Yes, quite true. In this, if nothing else, we have to thank our parents.
Here are the books.
Good work. Now go get me some more.
Right.
Come to think of it, in this microwave age of ours, domestic cooks like Amane might be a fairly rare subcategory of the female population. And against that contrast of insipid frozen food and instant TV dinners, warm homemade meals grab the male heart all the more firmly. As a matter of fact, my belated decision to accept Amane's profession of love had a lot to do with that. Cooking is something I mostly handle by myself, for myself. That's how it's been for a long time, even back when I was living with my master. Not to say that JB didn't pop in and whip up a meal every once in a while, but perhaps thanks to a crude, sloppy approach to cooking, I can't say the food ever felt like a family meal. As for Amane, her evident experience in the kitchen is really striking. Her mother's lessons must have been strict and extensive indeed, and they must have started very young. Amane's approach to cooking is that sort of self-assured housewife who spent many years putting food on the table every night. I still remember a little maxim Amane once shared with me. Every human being has to eat. If a woman can cook, she can marry anyone in any country and manage just fine for herself. Indeed, wise words. At the time, I nodded in agreement. From that perspective, Amane is certainly a hell of a woman. You could hardly ask for more, in fact. Any way you look at it, the girl's definitely wasted on the likes of me. Unlike Sakagi, she can cook. Unlike Michiro, she doesn't bark at random like a deranged chihuahua. Unlike Makeda, she has a rich feminine body. And unlike Sachi, she doesn't bottle up her emotions inside.
Did I hit the jackpot here?
Again with the creepy soliloquy.
Sorry, Sakagi. Mind if I say just one thing?
Feel free.
Couldn't hurt to try learning how to cook.
I suppose, but it's less that I can't cook and more that I choose not to.
I see. More books.
Thanks, keep them coming.
Very well.
Unfortunately for you, Sakaki, my friend, I've spent a long time among women who can't cook, and every one of them has said the same thing, JB being the representative example. I do understand that a female's charm isn't defined by her skill in the kitchen, but when you get right down to it, the number one thing men want from women in their life is warmth. Next on the conventional list would probably be nursing, followed by entertainment. In summary, men want hospitality from their partner. If a woman satisfies those needs, it can easily make up for severe shortcomings in other respects, even physical attractiveness.
Although Amane's pretty near a perfect score in that field as well.
She is sensitive to detail, skilled at cooking, and ridiculously sexy. Objectively speaking, pretty much a perfect choice for a relationship, worthy of a round of applause. But precisely because I think that way, it's hard to get my head around the idea that she'd just fall in love with me of all people. They say women tend to look for promise in their young men, but I hardly think I have anything of the sort. Quite the opposite. Every day brings with it a chance that I'll be rotting in the grave before the evening. I'm a worthless stray dog of a human being, a wolf that dressed itself up as a sheep in its pathetic desperation for warmth. There's practically nothing about me to attract a woman like Amane. There's no reason why people fall in love. Or perhaps you could say the reasons are frequently impossible to express in words. I do understand that much, but still, I can't help but think, why me? I suppose it's possible she noticed the stink of carrion on my breath and mistook it for the titillating aroma of a wild man. But that's no different from the fleeting, shallow delusion of a middle school girl who gets a crush on the class delinquent. In that case, there's a chance Amane will part from me on her own in time, and end up looking back at this relationship with embarrassment.
Well, that's fine. In the end, whatever Amane sees in me is a mirage, and little girls have to face reality eventually. What's wrong? No longer the energy to make fun of me talking to myself?
Not at all. I was actually rather impressed in a way. When someone mumbles to themselves at this length, the result can actually be rather poetic.
Think you'd buy a copy of my collected soliloquies?
If you need to force your acquaintances to purchase your book, it's generally wisest to give up on being an author.
Sakaki, you say clever things sometimes.
Oh, you think so as well? I plan to publish a collection eventually. The Collected Wisdom of Sakaki Yumiko. Not to worry, I'll send you an autographed copy.
Skip the personal dedication. It just makes it harder to sell to the used bookstore.
If you have the time to make stupid jokes, use it to carry books.
Yes, ma'am.
Continuing my exceptionally self-centered and repetitive ruminations, I carry over the cardboard boxes one after another, and after finishing the physical labor, I stick around to help Sakaki shelf the books. It's somewhat tedious work, but we pass the time exchanging our opinions on stuff we've read recently. Before I notice, it's already past 9 p.m. I'm sorry I ended up keeping you rather late.
Not your fault. Can't just leave the job unfinished after all.
As an apology, shall we get dinner somewhere? I'll pay, of course.
Appreciate the offer, but I've got... Oh.
What's the matter?
Crap, completely slipped my mind, but I promised to be at Madam's room for dinner at 7.
Oh my. I imagine Susan must be getting fairly tired of waiting by now.
Well, I'm a good 2 hours late. Don't you think she probably just went ahead and ate?
I don't know about that. Susan's strangely faithful about these things. I think there's a good chance she's waited all this time.
This isn't good.
If she seems terribly upset, feel free to blame it all on me. If you tell her Sakaki roped me into helping, perhaps she'll be somewhat mollified.
No, rather than risk making things worse with some half-assed lie, I'd prefer to be honest from the start and apologize. I'm the one in the wrong here. Can't be dishonest on top of it all.
You're rather clumsy in that regard, after all. Not that I dislike that about you.
I'm well aware that I'm a clumsy man. No need to rub it in.
Incidentally, are you and Susan currently in a relationship? Of the romantic variety, that is.
Yeah, I guess Amane's become my girlfriend. Somehow or other.
I see.
Sorry, wasn't really trying to keep it a secret or anything, but kind of wanted to avoid a big fuss, so I decided not to bring it up until somebody asked.
Well, you didn't really need to announce it, I suppose. I had a rough idea just from watching the two of you lately.
Really? Well, I did figure you'd notice eventually, but the others, not to put a too fine point to it, but they're more on the oblivious side of things.
True enough. Matsushima-shama in particular. If you don't tell her flat out, it's entirely possible she'll never catch on.
You have a point. In her case, a preemptive announcement might prevent a lot more hassle down the road.
That would be wise. The news may well put her in a bit of a bad mood for a little while, but I'm sure she'll end up giving the two of you her blessing.
Yep, I'll do that.
Anyway, thank you again for your help. Could you please convey my apologies to Susan as well?
Got it. I'll pass that on.
Well then, I'll see you at school tomorrow.
Yep, see you tomorrow. Alright then, guess I'd better head to Amane's room.
I told her I'd be there at 7, and it's now a solid 9:15. I'm a full 2 hours and 15 minutes late. Amane may not be the type to bark for no reason, but this surely warrants a good yapping. I enter her room fully prepared for such an eventuality, but the outcome is surprisingly painless. Hey there, Yuuji. So what's the plan? Do you want to eat right away or take a bath first? It's not like I particularly wanted her to get angry at me, but this completely nonchalant attitude is almost creepy. If you're going to take a bath, you should probably hurry. Wait too long and Sachin will drain the hot water from the grand bathroom before you can use it.
Right.
Of course, you can always use the bath in my room if you want. Anyway, what's your pleasure?
Let's eat first. I'll take a bath in my own room.
Oh? Okay then, I'll get the food ready right away. Just have to warm it up. Just take a seat so it won't be more than a few minutes.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, Amane?
What's up?
I said I'd be here at 7. I showed up well past 9. Didn't even get in touch. Aren't you angry?
Well, you know, can't say I was overjoyed about it, but I did have a feeling this might happen. You were helping Sakaki-san with the books, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Not that it's her fault. She just asked me to carry over these boxes, and I finished that by 6. I decided to stay and help put the books away on my own initiative.
Right, I understand. I'm not really upset or anything. Wait, maybe you want me to be mad? Harumph, I'm really angry this time, Buster. Something along those lines?
Seriously annoying.
I know, right? So like I said, I'm not angry. That said, next time you're going to be late, a phone call in advance would be nice. Just for my peace of mind, you know?
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay then, thanks for waiting. You said you were in a mood for something spicy, so I made mapo bowl. I tried using your beloved beans in place of ground meat. What do you think?
Let's see.
Amane places a spiced tofu on rice dish in question on the table, along with a side of Chinese egg soup. At a glance, it seems perfectly normal mapo bowl, but closer examination reveals the standard minced pork has indeed been replaced with finely ground beans. Vividly pale buds of garlic create a nice visual contrast, stirring my appetite. I push my Chinese spoon to the maple bowl, scoop out a large hunk of rice covered in a thick bean paste, and take a bite. A rich flavor instantly fills my mouth. A moderately sharp, spicy tang provides a nice accent.
Nice work. This is really good.
Isn't it? I'm glad you like it.
You really can make anything delicious, can't you?
Maybe you just say that about everything you eat. Is it really delicious?
You tried a bit yourself, didn't you?
Well, yeah, just a little.
Then take another bite and see for yourself. Come on, open wide.
Huh?
Look, I'm telling you to give me an an. Open that mouth.
An?
See? Delicious, isn't it?
Yeah.
You should really have a little more confidence in your culinary skills.
You think?
If you're really that suspicious, try feeding me something disgusting as an experiment. I'll tell you exactly how crappy it is.
I can't do that. The whole point is that I want you to really truly enjoy my cooking.
I really truly do. I like the way you kept the spiciness moderate, for one thing. Did you season this with Makine's taste in mind?
Well, I think my taste might have had more to do with it. Might not guess it, but that girl doesn't really have a problem with spicy stuff.
Come to think of it, where is Makina?
She's already finished her dinner and took her bath. At the moment, she's in the lounge with Sachi, watching one of her favorite TV shows on the big screen.
Ah, right. That one with the lunatic professor who's always getting mauled by wild animals.
Yeah, that's the one. There's a 2-hour special episode tonight, I guess. Come to think of it, when I passed by the lounge on my way to the room, I remember catching a glimpse of a frenzied Machina gnawing on Michiru's head, although I pretended not to notice.
I'd bet money Michiru just happened to be passing by when a television added grizzly bear went looking for prey. Girl's got no luck, does she?
What are you talking about?
Nothing of any value, I assure you. Don't worry about it.
Okay then. Having thoroughly enjoyed Amane's considerate hospitality, I head back to my own room in order to take a bath.
And so I've returned to my room, but... Don't with me. Why'd you follow me?
Well, you're gonna take a bath, right? I was thinking I could come in with you. Was your back maybe?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with a no thank you.
Huh?
Don't harm me either. What are you thinking?
Come on, Yuuji, I'm your girlfriend now, right? A little bath time togetherness is part of the course, right?
Let's see. What kind of scolding would be appropriate here?
I've come to realize something all too clearly recently. Amane is basically happiest when she's taking care of a man. The more hopeless and childish that man is, the more she enjoys herself. In other words, she's the sort of woman who tends to actively encourage the men in her life to become worthless. Play along and one day I'll end up incapable of scrubbing my own back. Perhaps I should draw a clear line in the sand here.
You can wait around all you want, but I'm not going to be taking a bath.
Huh? Then what are you going to do?
Read a book.
Really? Am I going to be a distraction then? Should I leave?
Well, no, I don't mind if you're here, but it's not like there's anything for you to do.
That's okay with me. I just want to be with you for a while, Yuuji.
That a fact?
There may be a number of strings attached, but Amane is my girlfriend. That being the case, if she wants to stay with me, I'm not going to kick her out. But to be honest, I'm still uncertain about this woman in many reports, about her motives, about the depth of her feeling toward me. But by coming in close contact with me on a daily basis, Amane will come to understand exactly how dull a human being I am. One day she'll probably part from me on her own accord. I throw myself down onto the bed and begin to read. And that's where we'll end this episode. So things are going rather smoothly so far, but, well, knowing the Fruit of Grisaia series, that isn't always par for the course. In fact, it's usually not. But what happens next is as always for the next episode. So, until then, take care.